Well, thank you so much, Marty, for that very generous and wonderful introduction. And I'm so thrilled to be here today. It's a real honor. I never imagined myself being included in a forum such as this, with such accomplished and inspiring people whose work lies outside of the performing arts. Also, I never imagined working with legendary icon Mikhail Baryshnikov as his executive director of his phenomenal arts organization, Baryshnikov Arts. And I do want to touch on everything that Marty spoke about, but let's go back to the very beginning. So I grew up in a very mixed and wonderful family. My father was from, at that time, Yugoslavia, my mother from Wisconsin, my sister from Vietnam, my brother from Serbia, and I am from Korea. And all of us living and growing up in Minnesota. So the arts and dance and theater in particular really gave me a purpose growing up, and drove me to New York City at the age of 15 by myself to seriously start that path towards becoming a professional ballerina. It was then that I met my childhood idol, Mikhail Baryshnikov, first as a student, and then, as Marty said, as my very first boss. He was the artistic director of American Ballet Theater at the time. And I was just 16 years old. I was still in high school, which professional ballet dancers start very young. And now, over 30 years later, Mr. Baryshnikov and I are working together to set up his legacy through his organization, Baryshnikov Arts. So, as many of you know, Mr. Baryshnikov is a significant force to so many, as a leader, a mentor, and a role model. He is a once-in-a-lifetime artist who is given to this world in a singular way, never to be replicated. And he has devoted his entire life contributing and upholding the arts. His continued steadfast focus is to ensure that artists of all artistic disciplines and of excellence have access to artistic freedom, something he deeply values and has embodied in his own life. One thing that many don't know about him or give him credit for is his constant innovation of the art form across multiple media and venues globally. Our mission at Baryshnikov Arts is not only to contribute and continue his consummate vision towards the purity of the art form, but also his commitment to innovation, reinvention, and redefinition of the art beyond dance, but towards artistic cross-discipline, a 21st century viewpoint, all the while being more inclusive. As Marty said, the Baryshnikov Arts Center, which is based in New York City in a beautiful 22,000 square foot facility in the Hudson Yards neighborhood on 37th Street and 10th Avenue, has for the past 18 years supported thousands upon thousands of artists through its residency programs, its commissioning of brand new works, and unique performances that we host in our own theater. All the while, Baryshnikov Arts has been building a global community of artists, audiences, and supporters. With our recent rebranding in 2023, Baryshnikov Arts became the brand for our organization versus Baryshnikov Arts Center, which was just the one building and facility. With this, we have opened up the possibility of developing beyond just 37th Street and 10th Avenue, beyond just one physical location. We have a vision to expand across New York State, perhaps further, and as well the digital sphere. So it's been very interesting listening to a lot of people today talk about technology and real estate, because I might be here representing arts, but it's actually a much more layered story of arts, real estate, and technology. So because of the incredible work that has been done over the past 18 years, Baryshnikov Arts now finds itself poised for truly unprecedented growth in line with how we see arts and culture in New York City and around the world, ready for revitalization post-pandemic. Baryshnikov Arts is prepared not only to continue being an important part of the artistic landscape, but to truly step forward to be a leader, defining what innovation in the arts can be. supporting a diverse range of artists at all stages of their career, bringing in audiences and supporters and providing them with transformative experiences worthy of their time and support, and creating meaningful and mutually beneficial partnerships that integrate with Baryshnikov Arts' mission. I am thrilled to lead Baryshnikov Arts as we continue to level up with an artistic and business force with a worthy mission that uplifts and serves. So, having spent over 20 years as a professional dancer with a diverse artistic international career, I retired at the age of 38, and I went to undergrad business school because I got into ABT when I was still in high school. As Marty said, I majored in accounting, and I followed it up by getting a master's in arts administration. Working at Goldman Sachs, I knew how much I loved arts, finance, and business, and I wanted to bring that all together. So working at Goldman also really gave me the opportunity for the first time to really witness and experience what makes a business successful. Marty didn't mention, or maybe he didn't mention, I had my own small dance company that I ran as well before I went to school and before I worked at Goldman, and I knew absolutely nothing.
But you learned a lot about business then.
But I learned a lot about business, and it was a small modern dance company, so I had to fill every single role. But having gone through school now, having worked at Goldman, pulling it all together now, I have the confidence and I know that we can do something phenomenal. So looking to Ms. Baryshnikov's legacy, we're building a cultural ecosystem across New York State and further. We continue to develop our incredible board of trustees with an eye on diversifying in multiple areas. And we have to keep up with Mr. Baryshnikov himself, who is still actively performing. He's been in amazing theater works, something just in the spring in our own theater, and he's in the office every day as our founder and artistic director. So I believe Baryshnikov Arts is poised for substantial growth via strategic partnerships and leveraging the globally recognized brand with which we present at this unique moment in time. So the takeaway, Baryshnikov Arts is more than a single place. It is an international community headquartered in New York City, one of the most artistically and economically interesting cities in the world. Now is the perfect time to strengthen our brand and get the word out about our spaces, our programming, and our future vision. Alongside our current programming, which has incredible artistic integrity, we're looking to further diversify, develop our interdisciplinary collaborations, and broaden our audience and supporters. Finding one's home, whether it's a physical or a metaphysical place, you are truly fortunate if you know what that means. And that is what Baryshnikov Arts provides. I am so grateful for this opportunity to be part of what Mr. Baryshnikov has created, his work, and our future vision, and to be part of the incredible Baryshnikov Arts community where we work every day to create a secure place of belonging, where artists, our staff, our board, audiences, supporters, and partners can share interests and passion, do good work that we can be proud of, and have some fun together. What more could one ask for in life? This is a dream come true. So
you got about 10 minutes left.
Okay, so I feel like I've been talking forever.
Let me ask a couple of questions, or maybe we can get some from the audience.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed this in your wonderful presentation, but you mentioned that you get donations and you have revenue. Where does the revenue come from?
Sure. So our revenue primarily comes from performances and our rentals. But I want to say arts nonprofits have existed operating in one way and one way only since the beginning of time. And because of COVID, because of the economy, whatever it is that we're coming out of, that is not working anymore. And I don't know if you read the New York Times, this is a finance group of people, but every week I feel like I'm reading the New York Times and it's saying, we're cutting programs, BAM is cutting programs, we're cutting staffing, public theater, it's a hard time for the arts because they're operating from the same model that they operated, from the beginning. And the world is different now. So when you ask me where does our earned income come from, it's ticket sales and it's rentals. But that's nothing. I mean, it's so minimal considering what you need to run an organization. So I'm actually here to tell you, I want to change the arts nonprofit model, how we operate, because I believe just like any product that all of you have and talk about, we have a product and it is of the highest quality and we are undervaluing that. And so our tickets are only $35. I finally made the company change it to $35. They've been $25 for the past 18 years. And you know, it's important to make sure that we give access to anybody who wants to come. So there are other ways. We don't have to raise ticket prices. And besides, even if tickets were $100, you're not going to make any money off of that. So I am looking for other ways to get earned income so we can become sustainable, self-sustainable, which is not to say we don't want donations also. So there's the contributed portion and there's the earned income. And we absolutely need our contributed. But without divulging too much of our master plan and our vision, there is a way to make money and there is a way to put value to what we have to offer. Imagine a world with no music, with no dance, with no theater, with no film. So we can take that for granted many times.
Yeah, I just want to make one remark because it just falls back into what Peter Lewis said, which is that as much as things become virtual, people still want to have the human experience, right? And to me, and if you see like the skyrocketing ticket prices to go to like to see Taylor Swift or Springsteen or Barbie, whatever, you know, it's all the reason why is because people just value that experience so much, and so that's why Baryshnikov is kind of at this really crossroads where so few people are surviving, and they can possibly do very well. So people get privy to more of this information via the executive committee. Gudrun?
I'm not quite sure I understand your model. I mean, your competition, your top two competitors or something, are we talking off Broadway, Broadway? I mean, who are you competing? And if I were in the elevator,
I don't think there's any competition. It's a totally different model.
I don't get it.
So the artists that,
partly can't hear you.
sure,
You
of
speak very
course,
softly,
that makes
but-
sense though, absolutely. There's Broadway, there's,
Right, but if I'm in the elevator
Mhm.
and I'm looking to go to a performance, what are you gonna say to me to make me go to you? I know that's not your big revenue model, but anyway, what are you
Sure.
gonna say to me to make me come to visit your theater versus go somewhere else?
absolutely. The artists that Mr. Baryshnikov has supported since the very beginning are the artists who are taking creative chances. So we are looking to support and discover and put forward the next Picassos, the next Van Goghs, the ones who maybe during their lifetime, nobody had heard of. So it's not Broadway, it's not going to be those stars, although we do rent our gorgeous studios, which are probably some of the best studios in the city, to Beyonce, to Taylor Swift, so those people are using our spaces and we can make some money off of them because they're
You're
commercial.
competing with national.
No, not at
But
all.
that's not our
No,
mission.
No.
No, but you can because your studios are better.
No.
Oh, no.
But, and that's why, well,
Maybe.
you can talk to her at dinner. It's a different business model and a different premise. But when Taylor Swift is in New York, she needs a place to practice for Scott Arts. Steve?
What is the role of the National Endowment of the Arts in this environment as one of the major beacons, if you will, as we see this regionally flop around the country? What are they doing?
Sure, so they do fund, but there are so many, hands reaching out for those relatively limited funds, so we do receive money from the NEA, but there's so many people who are asking for money from the same pot. And that also is just the arts in general. You have one very defined pot of money that you have more hands than can fit,
John?
So, I've been involved in arts foundations before, and I was always promoting the idea of monetization. For example, American Theatre Works on that board. They showcased Avenue Q, they showcased In the Heights, and promoted the experimental, theater aspects of this. Because it is a charity. What they went to people and made really. Here you have a foment of artistic expression. It's music, it's dance, it's maybe theater and art, it's maybe visual art. foundations I helped to start, but I'm no longer involved, was to try and monetize Carnegie Hall. And so what was done was to put together the Carnegie Hall channel, which is a streaming channel. You can get it on, you have to go to Apple TV, but you hear the most wonderful, archived concerts, classical music. It's really devoted to that. It's somewhat similar to Medici and other of the art channels. You have a unique, multi-factorial, multi-artistic, topic. I hadn't thought of that because now by through a channel, you're reaching beyond New York City where people have to crowd into a theater, natural maximum of where you're to be in the media, your take would be much, much higher. Both for live performances and archives.
Absolutely. So that's why I said earlier, we're looking both real estate in terms of in-person, experiences, but also the digital sphere.
I will make one remark, and we've got about 5 minutes left, but my remark is that my first client out of Wharton was the largest casino in the United States. And what people don't realize about casinos is that they're a real estate business, that if a game stops working, they change it electronically and they put up another game. And so I think Sonja, and their idea is 24/7 usage of the real estate. That's how they make money. And Sonja's idea is very close to that, which is we have lots of real estate and lots of space, and let's use it relentlessly. And just using market rates for New York City, they will have fantastic returns on them, right? So, and we can discuss it in more depth at dinner.
A major advantage is that the audience for dance is continuously being refreshed by young people. Classical music is working because the refreshment rate for young people is small, and the audiences are getting older and older. As you can see by any attendance at any concert hall, you will see the difference to go to the New York City Ballet versus Philharmonic.
Interesting.
So the ballet incorporates movement. It's easily adaptable to modern ballet, to jazz ballet.
And I think it's not just ballet that you're doing.
No, but so actually one of
the core, because your brand is inevitably going to be centered around dance with the brand name Baryshnikov. It's not going to be sculpture.
But what we are doing, because you're absolutely right, is the way we do our programming and what I'm trying to implement, and which is what I did at Kostich before coming to Baryshnikov Arts, is on the same program. You have some dance, you have some music, you have a culinary event, you have art. And so somebody buys a ticket because they want to see dance, but they're exposed to everything else. And so you start getting people in front of things that they wouldn't normally go see themselves, and they come to the dance and they say, oh my goodness, I love this music concert. Or you come to music and you have a culinary experience and say, oh, I love food. Putting the two together. So this is where I think multidisciplinary is really exciting, and also partnerships. So I don't think we can exist siloed by ourselves.
I'm sorry, any other comments? I didn't want to.
Oh, no. So yes, we, as I said, what we are going to be doing as we move forward, take into consideration all of these things.
Just quickly, I'm fascinated how you word the culinary experience into all this.
Well, it started with when I was at Kostich previously, because it was a 153-acre property. And so we started having, and we really bloomed during COVID because everything shut down and we actually grew. And it was a 30-year-old company that had never done anything outside, only inside the theater and only inside the studios. And when everything shut down, we could have either just shut down or we could go outside. And so I said to our tech director, do you know how to build a stage? And he said, there's YouTube. And we built outdoor stages that now, and like Marty said, it blossomed because we were the only arts organization open. Every news station and newspaper had no content, so they came to us, so we were in the New York Times and CNN and the New Yorker and Fox News, because they didn't have content on arts in anywhere else. But we were doing things. We didn't sell tickets because we knew a lot of people lost their jobs. People were unsure about the economy, so we made the performances free, but we opened it up to donations, and we made more money than we could ever have done with ticket sales.
What's the name of the organization?
Kostich.
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 I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
We'll sort it out.
Where was it located?
It's upstate New
In
York.
Tivoli, Dutchess County?
Oh.
Yeah,
And
in Hudson Valley.
Kostich won every award in that county, state, for performing arts.
Because we
It was
kept the
an amazing
economy
job she
going
did.
at a time when everything else shut down.
Right. I mean, do you remember these videos that were all over music about ballet people dancing on their fire escapes and stuff like that? So it was either dance on your fire escape or go to Kostich.
We were in Governor Cuomo's email blast. So that taught me a lot. So anyway, in terms of the culinary, we started having culinary events outdoors. I invited Francis Malman from Argentina to come to cook a huge meal. I don't know if any of you know him, he's on Chef's Table. But so starting to see how we could integrate other art forms, but all sort of taking place together, brought people who, like I said before, might have only come to see a ballet or who would only come to see a music concert, and they were suddenly witnessing everything. And so even more so now with Mr. Baryshnikov and the Baryshnikov brand, we can do this tenfold.
We want to talk about, things that you're trying to accomplish coming out of this meeting and,
Well, if anybody is interested, and again, I know I wasn't able to go into a lot of detail about our vision forward, which we have all planned and laid out, I would love to speak to you. And we are looking to form an executive committee, as Marty said, a group of volunteers. Really what we're looking for is to build our network. So again, like I said, the arts world exists or has existed in a very defined way with a very defined group of supporters, and I'm looking to break that model. And so I'm looking to build our network outside of what is already established. And this seems like a fantastic group of people. And I really do think that we have a lot of interests that interconnect, and I would love to talk about what those kind of ideas are.
and again, we'll discuss it more at dinner, but, a great example is that, the mailing list that Baryshnikov has, so let's face it, it's kind of bifurcated because there's really a fantastic group of people that he's accumulated over the years, right? And those are very high level, but the people who go to the shows are paying $25, so they're not gonna, give $1,000 to the Institute at the end of the year. But we do a lot of email campaigns in our executive committees at the end of the year. Now's the time for end of year giving, starting in the last quarter in October. So we will be doing an email campaign for them to help drive, donations, things like that. We found that if I send out 100 or 200, we get a lot of notice, and then we just ask other executive committee members send like 25 to 50, emails, because, you've got to get in the queue on these donations before people have it all figured out. They're already giving money away. If you send out these letters in December, you're just done. Nobody's going to think about you, right? So, Carol Pepper, you know all about this, right? So well, it's just the way it is for family offices. So you had some other.
No, but as Mark said, this is actually very important for us because when I say break the model, we haven't done that yet. So we still operate in the same way that all arts organizations operate. So end of year donations are a huge part of how we meet our budget at the end of the year.
I think that like a dozen people that were here today were at there was a law firm that had a big party over at a grill right next to the New York City Public Library. And, that rental is about $180,000 for a night to rent the whole thing. And so they have a space that's just fantastic. And actually, I wanted to share it with you guys. So just give me a second here. I'm going to share it with you.
Yes, we do have pockets in our calendar when we don't have our own programming going on or rentals, and we are open to corporate rentals. So we can give IvyFON members a discount.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sonja, I would imagine that you have a very precious asset there, which is Mr. Baryshnikov himself. I mean, he is, for many of us.
Somebody here just gave me this photo that they had carrying around with them.
I'm like a total in love with him. So certainly people my age remember him very well. Two things. I wondered if he would consider doing one of those Netflix documentaries, because he is a living legend and he deserves to have one. And then secondly, family office types, or the Blackstones of the world, or the Goldmans of the world, or JP, I know when I was there, are always looking for their very, very high-end, very jaded clients to give them a very special opportunity to do something they can brag about that they couldn't get anywhere else. So I don't know if he's ever been open to doing small private dinners or talks with a small group or private performances, I don't know if he does that kind of stuff, but I'm not trying to use him like a trained dog, but,
No,
you
no,
know,
of course.
he's such a special living legend. I mean,
So
for
if you look at
example-
just at the screens, I mean, this
Yeah.
is the facility, this is one of the rooms
Yes.
for a nighttime event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
you can
and so
charge-
they're able to
nowadays
do
you can
similar
charge
events
A lot
there.
of money for access to somebody like that.
It's a
Absolutely.
unique experience.
So he is notoriously very shy and is very protective of the brand. So I feel very fortunate because I've known him since I was 15 years old, and I've worked with him in many different capacities. And so I count myself very lucky as someone he trusts. And so I think that if it is something, you know, that has artistic integrity and upholds, we can absolutely make something happen.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's, you know, we're talking about
Yeah,
very
you're right.
sophisticated people, they're not gonna make them feel bad, but they want something very special. To be able to experience, that's what's left for them, they can buy anything, the question they experience.
Absolutely.